Handsome Devil podcast number 6. That's the one after 5. If I remember correctly. 6. Let's get these out of the way. Okay, cool.
All right.
Today we have with us a very special guest, good friend of mine from, I think we met in the 40s, something like that. He was a body piercer in this very room. It used to be called the Flesh Chamber.
Long time ago.
For, I don't know, he'll correct me here, from the 90s, I believe, late 90s maybe to like 2015, something like that. But my good friend, Travis Steinberg.
Whoa. Welcome, man.
Fancy being here.
Yeah. So how you been?
Oh, good. Good. It's a little odd being.
Is it weird being back in
my
the room?
old room? Yeah, and it looks just a little different.
A little bit.
So when exactly were? Do you remember? Yeah, because you weren't here when it first opened, right?
No, I was not. I was here, I want to say like 4 years before I started working here.
First, okay. And it was, I believe, was it the late 90s or early 2000s that it opened? I don't remember exactly, but
I want to say late 90s, early.
Because the first time I got tattooed here was 2005.
yeah, that's right, Ray.
So,
you got your first tattoo ever.
first
Was
tattoo
it this?
was here.
No, and it was
it was literally the room that
the
I'm
room
cutting
next,
in right now.
which was like, there used to be a pinball machine in that room. Do you remember that at one point?
Yeah.
So a little backstory here. So when I used to work, there's a pet store across the street here, diagonally, whatever, and I worked there in my early 20s.
Crisscross.
And Crisscross Hip Hop Hooray. No, that's a completely different group.
Nope.
Travis used to come in all the time because you lived upstairs here, right?
That's
Yeah.
correct.
And you had.
Oh, really? You lived up here?
Well, not directly above, but pretty much so.
Damn.
And you
okay.
had. Did you have 2 cats at the time?
I had 2 cats at the time.
2 cats at the time, yeah. And so he would come into the pet store and buy needs for his pets.
Needs.
And we just started small talking, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm the body piercer over there," and I was like, "Sweet," And then I wanted to get into tattooing, and I didn't know how to get my foot in the door, so it's because of this guy that
So it's all your fault.
It's all my fault.
You I think talked to one of the tattoo guys, and we're like, "Yeah, we need a counter person or whatever," because none of them ever like to answer their own phones or write down on paper themselves.
Right.
We can talk about that all day long.
Oh, boy.
And let's just say person A and person B.
Yeah, right.
Person B, I still get along with. He's pretty cool. Person A,
Not so much.
Yeah.
not so much. Not so much.
No.
Is that the sentiment across the board?
Yeah.
For sure.
See, and I thought it was just me. I was like, maybe it was. Am I remember it wrong? But then when Travis was in here the other day, we were talking about it, and he was like, "Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
All of that stuff
confirmed.
is 100% true."
Yeah.
Yes.
Right on.
So then I started doing counter stuff here, and then I don't even remember exactly, because then why did you? What happened ended up with you when you left the shop? Because I remember before, like, I became an official apprentice here with A and B person, that you were gone because my friend Zach was piercing when you left. So, and it was most likely because of person A that you just got tired of it.
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, I feel like I had been doing it for so long that I don't know, I felt like my heart wasn't into it.
Okay.
So I felt
Like
like
it just-
needed to,
It felt like another day in, day out.
right.
Just,
Yeah.
Yep. People were coming in to get excited to do stuff, and I was not as excited as them. I
Right.
realized like I'm not putting in as much as these people are putting in. It's not fair to them.
Fair.
For me being like, it's another day.
So you're just kind of like, yeah, okay, lay back. Let's get this done. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Right
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
I always told myself when I got to that point, like, it's not fair to the clients then. Like, if I'm just here.
Because it's with me for tattooing, at least what I think is when I do tattoos, I think, this might be another hour or 2 for me. It's just day in, day out kind of thing.
Right.
I mean, I love tattooing, obviously, but you think about other things like groceries or
Oh, yeah.
your plans later or whatever you're doing, or your kids or whatever.
Right.
And but to them, it's forever. Body piercing obviously is not permanent forever. I mean, most people have scars or keloids, I assume, from stuff like that. So, yeah, that would definitely be a big deterrent for me too. I guess just to get out of it. Didn't you have like thumb problems or something like that too? Because I remember, or maybe because I remember person A saying something about that, but I think that was just maybe his way of BSing it to people. telling people that you couldn't
Probably.
him.
Well, I did end up, after I left and started a different job, I ended up getting called what's trigger finger. So basically, you're using your fingers too much. And,
Oh, really?
Like
so,
just
you
just
have,
all of them in general, or
well, it was the only finger on my right hand that I did not need to have surgery on was the one that I used to do piercings.
Really?
Yeah.
really? And
Yeah.
the rest were like they're like, yeah, you need surgery for these.
Yeah. So basically, you have they call it the doctors call it a pulley, and you have my tendons and my muscles in my hand got swollen, so they couldn't go through the pulleys.
Oh,
So they had
wow.
to literally like cut the little circles that your tendons are supposed to go through because it wasn't allowing them to,
Oh, damn.
like, for the swelling to go down. So the only one that I didn't have a problem with was the one that I used for piercing.
Yeah, I'll have to.
Is that because you used that one so often, and that way it didn't
I think so, because when I started where I work now, I was doing something completely different than I had never done before.
Yeah.
So I mean, I always used my pointer finger for, and
That was
the
on
rest-
your right. That was where you'd push the because you'd hold the. I mean, for anybody out there that doesn't understand how piercing works, and I don't really know much either, but you hold like a receiving cork
yeah, you
or
hold a
something on
cord
another
or a
side
tube or
to push it right to push it into.
yeah. So the only one that the finger that got used the most.
That's so weird. That's
Yeah.
Wow.
And you were I assume you were like, really? I use that one the most
Yeah.
out of everything.
Yeah.
That's weird. That's crazy. But no, actually, like what you just said though, when you're what you guys were both saying, is like when it comes down to like coming in and like having passion for what you're doing, like it might mean everything to that person you're doing it to, but like not really to you, because like you said, you like grocery shopping or I don't know, what am I going to eat later, like shit like that, because it's just another day to
What
us.
time is the shuffleboard championship on?
Right.
stuff like
These are
that.
the questions that
Yeah.
need answering.
Yes.
I was just I think that's a really good point to make, because I don't think that's ever, I've never heard anybody like talk about it like that before, and I think that's actually kind of a cool thing to talk about, because you don't really think about it that way. Because for us, it's like another job. Like I come in, I cut hair every day,
Right.
Or like
Right.
like somebody will come in today is like, one of my clients today said he's got a funeral to go to,
Right.
and I was like,
Yep.
like at that point when he tells me that, I switch into like.
Then you're like
detail
holy,
mode.
holy shit, I better
Like,
really care about
Yeah,
this.
like
'cause
this is going to be,
some-
I'm going to put like way more time into details. I don't care if it costs me like an extra 10 to 15 minutes or whatever. I'm
right.
gonna cut.
I mean, not that
You know
you're
what I'm
not
saying?
caring before, but
Right,
it just
right.
like heightens your attention.
No, I don't give a fuck. All right.
I don't care.
I don't care. No, I'm just kidding.
I will cut one strand.
Bink. But no, like that's one of those things where it's like, I feel like at that moment I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, okay, that person has something like an event to go to, and now I'm more deeper into like care mode. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I think I don't think that's ever really been talked about. I don't feel like I've ever really talked about that with like tattoo artists, because it becomes like another job. Like it's a passion, or like piercing is a passion, but like you take that passion, you make it into a career. So, but like, yeah, I'd never really thought about it like the way that like how those 1 to 2 hours, or however long a piercing, like whoever's getting pierced is probably like 100 years, but for you it's like done. You're like,
Well, yeah, because if you think about it, I mean, maybe not so much, I guess, for like something as important as like a wedding or a funeral or something. Of course, they want to look nice, but I mean, for piercing and tattooing, I would think usually, unless you're like a 16-year-old girl that's just getting your navel pierced for whatever, like randomly, it's usually a well thought out process. Because I remember when I first started getting in like tattooed and piercing and stuff, it was always like people would talk about it and it'd be like a whole week thing, like, oh, I think next week I'm gonna do this and that, and it was always really drawn out. And then they come in and they see one of us and it's just cool, all right, yeah, yep, all right, yep, here we go,
Yep.
cool, see ya.
And you're just you're just like, well, I have to go clean up.
Yeah.
We don't give it like a second thought usually, but to them it's like, hey, this is like everything.
And looking in here, I don't. It's crazy because this was his room, and I remember getting pierced in this room, and seeing a lot of people get pierced. But it just doesn't seem like it was big enough. Like, how did it happen? Because I remember you had that dental chair here all the time,
The big ass chair.
and you had all these, small drawers up on these walls that people watching can't see. But there was all these little like receiving tubes and like different gauges. And I remember you had
All the jewelry.
a lot of
was labeled.
Yeah, and you had Star Wars stuff up
Yep,
there
the
too.
Star Wars ships were hanging from the ceiling.
The ships. I don't know if I remember
Yeah,
those.
Oh,
there-
shit.
really.
Yeah, I had oh man, I think there was a B-wing. There was a clone trooper with a jetpack. I had
Yeah.
Jango Fett hanging from the ceiling.
Yeah, that's this guy here, Travis, is before I don't think I had even seen any of the Star Wars then, but he is
Blasphemy.
He's probably the biggest fan I knew, and this is probably completely wrong, and you're probably gonna be like, "What? I never fucking had that ever." But in my memory, I remember when he moved from here, and I was helping him load up his U-Haul or whatever it was. I felt like it was an entire 15-foot U-Haul of just Star Wars toys and action figures. Like actually,
Probably.
there was a whole.
I was like, you're not wrong.
Correct me, but I'm pretty sure you had an entire second bedroom that was just Star Wars
Yep.
stuff.
That is correct.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yes.
that really did happen.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And then I remember when you moved to the house, the next house, the spiral staircase one. I remember thinking, dude's got temperature controlled glass cases for these shits, and it was
shits.
which it probably wasn't, probably not that extreme, but I know for sure you had these glass shelves with all different Yodas and stuff and all that. And at the time, I thought it was the shit. And at the time, I had not even seen any Star Wars movies, so I even learned to appreciate it even more at the point. How's that stuff going nowadays? Do you have any of that stuff?
Yeah.
Did you sell it all off?
When we moved from the spiral staircase house
Yeah,
to our
yeah.
house now, we actually rented a place that was temperature controlled and inside.
Okay.
And,
There's some truth. There's some
Yeah.
truth to it. Yeah.
But so let's see. I have got the bins down from 67.
67 bins.
Wait, 67 bins?
Yeah, of miscellaneous toys, majority Star Wars.
Mhm.
But I had some horror movie stuff.
Yeah.
Living
Naturally.
Dead dolls. I had a bunch of.
Yeah, that's
those
yep.
were up
I
on
remember
the-
that one. Yep.
Yep.
Okay, I totally remember
Yeah.
those. Yeah.
And then I had a bunch of GI Joes, and I
Real
think I
American
have-
Hero.
It is.
G.I. Juan.
Rip.
Just so fun.
G.I. Juan.
Yeah.
I think it's down to 55 or 58 bins now.
And did you sell some of those to consolidate them, or did you just some that you're like, these don't really mean anything to me anymore? I'll get rid of these. Or
I pretty much sold all the horror stuff, the Living Dead dolls. I still have all the GI Joes and Star Wars.
Fuck yeah.
Star Wars I probably won't get rid of.
yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, I don't think
No.
so either. Are you gonna let your kids play with them someday? Or are you like,
I've already opened some and
been like this?
Oh,
when
man.
I was a
Here you
kid,
go.
this was
You
yeah.
bit
kinda
the
like-
bullet and we're like,
I did. So yeah.
It's no longer collectible.
oh no.
Like, oh man, do you know this one opened is $15 and you're just playing with it, right?
Yeah.
But no, it's all right. Like if they enjoy it, that's I mean, some of them that I played with when I was a kid, I gave them to them. So it's just
There you go. Pass
Go
them
down
down,
the
man.
line.
I mean, let's face it.
My brother had a good collection that he left at my house when he moved out, but all of them were opened and they were just in a case, and I didn't really know what I had at the time. He had the full old school Ewok Village.
yeah.
They had a whole Ewok Village set.
Yeah.
Really? Was it
Yeah.
Lego or what was it?
No, it was just
like-
it was Mattel. Was that who did them?
No, it was Kenner.
Oh, Kenner. Yeah.
Okay.
They even exist. Kenner made the Ghostbusters toys.
Yeah.
The really cool Ghostbusters toys too.
Yeah, so my brother had a whole Ewok Village and everything. He left it to me, and we found it in the attic, and I was just playing with it. He had a whole Rancor.
Mm-hmm.
Then it was cool. I just made him eat Luke all the time,
Mm.
and I was like, if only,
If.
and then that would have been the end of the story. But
The Robin Hood Prince of Thieves, when that movie came out.
Oh,
they
yeah.
came out with action figures of that, and the Sherwood Forest playset
Mm.
was actually made off of the mold from the Ewok Village.
no shit.
Yeah.
The same one. Wow. Okay.
It's just different colors.
Just different
Cheap
painted or whatever.
motherfuckers.
Hey man,
Well,
Hey.
you got what you made. You had to
kids
work
are
with what
they're
you're
gonna
given.
buy it anyway. Right?
That's true, yeah.
So fuck it.
They're just gonna label it Sherwood Forest instead of Ewok Village, and be
Right.
like, it's different.
You just- still, there's a line.
It's a
on the
different shade of
box.
brown.
Yep.
Probably.
Probably what it was. Yeah.
Yeah. And we will. I'm
And
really
we will
curious now,
consider it.
so we should look that up, and I'll put some pictures on the screen of them
Oh, yeah, I
side
could-
by side here. And they,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
they
You could
probably
show
are.
me a picture of that Ewok Village, and I would immediately remember it. Remember it from memory.
Yeah, that's it. Do you have any idea? Have you through the years have you kept can you look at something and go know the value of it and go, oh, that's probably about so and so? Like, do you have any idea what your most valuable collecting, where was the word, item was? Like, or is, like, do you have something that you're like, yeah, this is, if the house were to burn down, this is the one thing that I'd want to save. Well,
you have to have an extremely high level of autism to remember that.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. I don't really keep track of how much it is.
Because that's not the point for you, right?
No,
You're not like, I'm going to make tons of money. You're like,
Right.
this is just sweet. I'm going to collect them. Right.
I only say that because I probably have autism in some way, shape, or form. So I
Ism.
just remember really weird shit.
Ism with the tism.
You get a wrist.
No, I mean, I know that I have some stuff that was worth more than others, but it's
Of course. It's just there, yeah. It's just I think about that a lot with collecting stuff, too, and I've tried to slow down a lot because I think, what am I going to do with this? It's going to hang out in a box or on a shelf, and, you know, that's it, realistically. And if a kid can have joy playing with it, sweet, because that's what it's for.
Right.
You know?
So that's part of the reason I sold everything else, because it's like, I'm not going to put all this stuff out. It's all just going to stay in bins anyway. Might as well, let somebody else enjoy it.
That's what I'm doing with my Funko Pop collection right now. It just sits in the bins for way too long, and I need to do something with it, so I'm selling them.
Come down to Handsome Devil and see what Ray's got for sale. Actually, they won't see this for a couple of weeks, so pretty sure. Well, you might still have some here, so come down, check it out.
Well, the only reason why I'm selling it is because I'm moving, and I don't really have a place to put it all. So by the time this comes out, I will be moved into my new place. So
tell us all about it.
it's nice.
It's not
I'm not going to tell him where I live.
in an undisclosed location.
Here in Appleton somewhere.
Are you joining the witness protection program?
I mean, maybe I should. I don't know.
Another thing that this guy over here had a huge collection of, and I don't know if you still do because I haven't been your house in 1,000 years.
Body parts?
Body parts. No, they were horror movies. So this guy, I remember.
So I was close.
Well, I mean, digital body parts, sure. I remember like any horror movie I had never heard of or didn't think would be a concept in anyone's mind to make one. Travis had it.
Yeah.
He for sure had it.
Just every like obscure horror movie like possibly made.
Oh, I had a bunch, yeah.
Yeah, and
There's a few.
when we would watch tons of them, including as we were talking earlier about Harmony Korine films. And if you don't know who Harmony Korine is, Kids, the movie Kids is probably his most well known.
No,
you think
the
so?
one
No,
most well known is Spring Breakers.
Oh, Spring Breakers, the
If
one.
you ask people if
okay.
they know Harmony Korine, no, who is that? And you say, oh, have you ever seen Spring Breakers? Oh, yeah, I know that movie.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
Okay,
because when you
okay.
actually I just did the same thing in my head too. Because when you said the name, I was like, had we not mentioned it before, and then you would have said Spring Breakers, I'm like, oh yeah,
Yeah, that.
yeah,
And then Kids, though, for sure.
Kids,
Yeah.
yep.
And then very other obscure classics, such as Julian Donkey Boy.
Gummo.
Gummo is a trip. If you haven't seen Gummo,
Gummo.
go and watch it, but make sure you're alone. No, not really.
That's not ominous at all.
It's really strange, man. It really. I remember you having an idea too when you were working here. You had told me, which I mean never happened. I mean now we would have the equipment and it would be relatively simple to do. But I remember you always had an idea for a horror movie.
Yeah, I had a couple of
I don't know if you still remember. I remember vaguely the concepts of what you were telling me about a long time ago, but
oh boy,
he was just like, so check this out. So I remember. And it sounded cool, but like there wasn't like smartphones and like everything with crazy stuff. So the equipment would have been like $1 billion to get any of it, to do any of it.
right.
Yep. I remember one was ghost hunters. Like one guy believed in ghosts and the other partner didn't. So like one of the people, like they would both go to a house where somebody would say was haunted, and one person would try to say why it was haunted, and the other person would discredit. No.
Like just shut down everything.
This is happening because of this. So
And then like that, and then is there like any like a twist to that?
Did it turn M. Night Shyamalan at any point and like Chewbacca showed up or something?
yeah, you know what he did?
You
He did. Wearing a Rain Corps mask.
and a raincoat. Yes, dude.
Yeah.
Myth busted.
Myth of buzzed.
Being ridden by an Ewok.
Being in Ewok Village 2000.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That just sounds like everything right now. That'd be like if Luke went on tour with like the fucking Ghost Adventures douchebags.
What are those? There is a show.
It'd be Luke. It'd be
your
Luke
your
standing next to Zach Bagans, going, "No."
Your girlfriend is a big fan of
huge.
I've caught her in here a few
paranormal
times
fan.
watching ghost shows. On the couch.
she'll come in and study and just put on ghost shows. Yeah,
And
that's like her go-to thing.
Is it? There's one of them where there's a guy who's just trying to disprove everything, or maybe it's the whole team that tries to do that first to eliminate.
Okay, from what I gathered, because I don't listen very well, but from what I gathered, so she's like super. There's one group called I think it's like Project Fear.
Yeah,
yeah. And Project Fear goes to like tons of different spots, and they do like they like read like the whole backstory for the place to kind of get you like hyped up on the area, but they go through with like just a shitload of like science, technical gadgetry, fucking whatever, Ghostbusters bullshit, and they just try to go through to see if it actually is legit or not. And so they'll like sit in different rooms of the house, all fucking times, all whatever, and they just like most of them are just there by themselves.
Yeah.
With just all the technology around them, and then like whatever their experiences like are. Sometimes it turns up nothing. Sometimes it's like, well, that looked creepy as shit, but I don't believe in any of that stuff usually, so it's really hard for me to be like, yeah, cool. But she's like, it's real, and I'm like, well, okay. I'm like, I'm not gonna tell you you're wrong because like I've never had a paranormal experience.
Right.
So.
You don't know. Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
but for me, it also would be like, yeah, something paranormal probably happened to you at one point, and then I just kind of like fucking wrote it off because I don't know, ghosts don't want to be fucked with, so why the fuck would I pay attention to it? That was always like my logic on the whole thing, where it's like, hey, it's not like that Zach Bagans fucking douchebag where he's like, oh, we went to this fucking insane asylum, and remember the people did this, and then he would like just go in the middle of those insane asylums like, hey, remember when they did this to you? And like, why would you do that on purpose? Like, if you think that ghosts are real,
invoke them.
why would you piss them off on purpose? I don't understand that. Like, do you want to be fucking like haunted for the rest of your life? Like, are you really like being possessed? Because that's probably like the next step.
Doesn't sound like a good time.
Like,
yeah, if any of that stuff is actually real, yeah, that's the last thing that you would want to happen.
yeah, and so I don't know. She's like really into those shows, and so she watches them all the time. So I learn about them like when I'm not staring at my phone. But but those, I don't know, those shows are interesting because at least like those people don't go in like totally blind and think like everything's haunted no matter what, and then they'll actually like go through and like disprove it if it's like total bullshit. So. But I think that's Project Fear. I don't know what all the other ones are, but
I don't know. There's those plumbing guys, the Roto Rooter. Seriously,
the Mario Brothers.
All they ever, yes, those are them. No, all they ever talk about is like hunting ghosts, and we work for Roto Rooter and wear Walgreens shirts and stuff. Like,
oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
I don't know what I don't know. Alex was like, yeah, that's the one in there, and she gave me their biography. I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
I think that's just ghost hunters.
I think that's ghost
straight
hunters,
up
yeah.
as it is.
But then like that Zach Bagans dude, and like he did Ghost Adventures or whatever it was, and that was like bullshit up and down. Like it was total crap. Like he would really like.
He was selling it big
time. He
yeah.
would sell it super hard to make it like way more spooky-ooky than it really was. So I was like, dude, a lot of it's like really like a lot of bullshit. Like something would happen like in the background, like a stick would break or something, probably from like one of their sound guys, and he'd be like, "What was that? Did you hear that?" He said, "Get the fuck out of here!" And then they would like play it in slow motion like 100 fucking times, and it was like that's all it was. You're like,
yeah,
they would put the word at the bottom of the screen to make you think that that's what it said.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's
Yeah.
like with all the backwards records and stuff. If you're told this is what you're listening for, you're gonna hear it. You're gonna pick it apart.
Like Little Nicky.
Little Nicky.
Check this out.
Yeah.
Boston. In the name of Lucifer.
Yeah. That's super clear.
Yeah. What's he trying to say there? No, Chicago was always very deliberate with his words.
I haven't seen that in a long time.
So good.
Long time.
Oh, man. Fuck it,
Yeah.
So, did you have any, speaking of that, what compelled you to write stories like that? Have you had experiences of your own? I remember, I don't even know if you want to get into it now, but I remember some wild shit a long time ago. You tell him holy shit, when was that? Probably like at least a good, I want to say like 15 years ago with something about like aliens or some crazy story you had when you were a kid. I'm serious.
Oh, boy.
You had something about like a toy being like open in your closet or something that was.
Yeah, so
Yeah, legit.
Oh yeah, now you can't leave me hanging on this.
Yeah.
Now I have to know.
I don't know if you want to talk about it, but yeah.
My recollection.
Right, and no one can say you're wrong. This is what you remember.
We still lived in Kenosha, so we moved when I turned 7. So it was obviously younger than 7. And it was around the time when the Care Bears Friends came out. So instead of being regular Care Bears, they had like a lion, a monkey, an elephant.
Yep.
So anyway, I went to sleep, and this crazy shit was happening. Like, I woke up, and I was not in my room, and I started crying for my mom, and this crazy-looking creature was bending over me. Everything was kind of, like, foggy and hazy, and I could see, like, computers and buttons and a machine in front of me, and I was just, like, kept crying for my mom, and when I came to, I was in my parents' room in their closet holding this Care Bears friend lion.
Holy shit! Wait, this was like all something that you remember, like having, like happened?
Like I woke up and like, cause I don't know, I thought I was having a dream, but
Yeah.
I woke up in my parents' closet holding this Care Bears lion, and what I remember, my mom waking up and asking me how I got the got the lion.
Like, we didn't get that for you? Where did you?
Like, I'm guessing they got it for me, but it was like hidden in their closet. So my mom was just like, "Well, how did you find this? How did you get it?"
Oh, so
holy
it was,
shit.
Okay. Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Holy
And like,
fuck.
I woke up. She must have woke up from me crying, and she was just like, "How would you get this lion? And how'd you get in the closet?" So I don't know. I think they just kind of played it off. I mean, as far as I know, I could have just knew that they had it and walked in there and shut the closet and
Maybe you're
couldn't
like,
get out.
maybe your subconscious was like, I'm gonna go find my birthday present, or like maybe it was in the closet. I don't know.
So I don't know. But
I mean,
it felt
holy shit.
real as fuck, like being in a weird spot, and I feel like
Yeah, and if you were younger than even if you were 7, I mean, it's highly unlikely you saw tons and tons of movies and shows about stuff like that already.
Right.
So you had no reference point to be like, yeah, it looked exactly like this. You know what I mean? So
I was saying, unless you were a big X-Files fan as a kid, like I was. So
X-Files wasn't out yet.
it was not.
when was X? When
I'm old.
90.
Well, hold on. How old are you?
How old do you think I am?
I don't do that to me.
I am. I just did.
Well, fuck.
X-Files was 90,
39.
92.
Give me a minute to think about it. What did you say? 32?
No,
Oh, I
32.
was like,
Good God, no,
what?
92. Look it up, Ray. When was it?
What, X-Files 92?
92, I think. Or 94.
Because I remember watching it as a kid.
It's 2024, right?
Yes.
I don't know, October?
What's today?
I
October?
will be 43 in a week.
43 in a week.
In a week?
In a week.
I'll be
Today's-
37 in 2 weeks.
well, we'll have to-
93.
Anyway.
93.
Oh, I said 92 and then I said 94. So
Yeah,
I guess.
93. So
And that had to run.
I was 6.
That ran to like 2000. It must have.
It ran for 11 seasons.
Oh, okay, 11 seasons.
11 seasons. Yeah, that's until. That's not right. Anyway.
Yeah, I remember.
Oh, that's just the first season. Okay.
I remember you telling me
I'm an
that
idiot.
story, just vaguely, something about a toy, and like I thought, from my memory of it, is you told me something about twist ties, like the toy was like tied in its packaging of some kind of like elaborate packaging, and had like how they have those plastic brackets on them or whatever, and you had gotten it out of there, and the brackets were still like.
Oh yeah, I was holding the bear. Or the tiger, the lion, but yeah, nothing in the. From what I remember, nothing on the package.
Yeah,
was
that was-
open. It was like just out.
Nothing ever
Man.
since then. Like never another. Just whatever.
No.
Never like.
So that was like your first possession, and then you never had
Yeah,
one.
my first possession.
There's possession. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Here it is. Okay, so it ran for 9 seasons until 2002,
Yeah.
and then season 10 actually that's when they started doing
They rebooted it.
they rebooted it,
Mhm.
but they just counted it as season 10. So that one came out in 2016. And
Wow,
then-
that was
a
already
long
8
time.
years
Holy
ago.
shit.
Yep.
I remember
and then,
being really excited for that too. When
And
it
then
was coming back.
I didn't watch.
and then season 11.
Yeah,
Season 11 was 2018.
Okay, yeah. Then they just stopped.
Yeah,
'cause
and
it
then they stopped after
it
that.
just wasn't going to work anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So originally, like the first like chunk of it that like we remember as kids was like 9 seasons.
Mm.
So it ended in 2002. So. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what I have some pops of. I still have I think, Mulder and Scully and the cigarette smoking man and just a generic alien. I think I got those. I don't know. I got like 30.
Oh, the generic like X-Files.
Yeah, I got like 30
Yeah.
pops just randomly in a box. I don't know.
Sounds like my entire life. Yeah.
Everything. So what made so transitioning from scary ass stories like that? When did you decide to get into piercing, or what was there? Because I get asked all the time about tattooing, and I'm sure Ray gets asked all the time about barbering.
All the time.
Did you have a moment where you're like, "This is what I'm gonna do. This is awesome"?
Yeah, the first piercing I ever got, I was an exchange student to Brazil, and I
Okay.
got a labret piercing while I was there. And so I was just like, "Whoa, this is kind of cool." Like, I'd never been into a
So your
tattoo
your first facial piercing was literally out of country.
Yeah, my first piercing at all.
Cool.
Never. Cool.
Yep. In
Nice.
Brazil. I was 17. I had to get my host parents to sign for it, and it was crazy because I just went to the place and they gave me the permission slip, and I just brought it there, and they signed it, and I brought it back.
Really?
That's
And it's
awesome.
like, okay.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so I mean, they were probably like, "This American kid, he'll never be back." So,
Yeah. Like nothing's gonna happen to us.
We'll fuck
Yeah.
this up.
so
Brazilian.
And
people.
was it like a good piercing?
oh yeah, it was
Oh, okay.
legit.
I was gonna say now when
Not trying to like insinuate anything.
Oh, no.
I just want to know.
years
So-
later, with your knowledge of piercing, could you remember and go, "Yeah, they actually did everything correctly"?
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
for sure. Yeah, and then I came back. Missed it
Oh,
that
wobbled rim shot, like Ernest P. Worrell's
I was gonna
dog.
say Ernest. Yeah.
Ernest P. Worrell's dog, rim shot. But anyway, you
Anyway, go ahead.
So yeah, and then I came back.
17, right?
I came back the day before I turned the day before I turned 18.
Mhm.
Came back, finished my senior year of high school. Went to a place to get a piercing, and I was told, "Oh, we don't do that." I'm not gonna name said piercing place, but I'm going to say it's kind of weird when you're.
So you went to a piercing place.
I went to a strictly piercing place.
and they said they don't do piercings.
And the piercing that I wanted, my nape pierced, and
Okay.
I wanted a genital piercing,
Mhm.
and they said, "We don't do those."
They wouldn't do a nape either.
Nope. I mean, this was also like, I don't know, 2000. So
Yeah, right,
So-
right.
I could take one stab in the dark and know exactly what you're talking about.
um,
I'm not saying it out loud.
This mysterious place.
Right.
Okay.
yeah, mysterious.
I don't want to.
So
I
they,
don't want to stir the pot. But
no pots need to be stirred.
so they told me that there was no place in the city that I was in. They told me, "Oh no, there's no other piercing places around here. You have to go to Oshkosh." So I was like, "Oh, Appleton doesn't have any either." Nope, you have to go to Oshkosh. So they sent me to a place in Oshkosh, and I got the piercings done. Then they turned out okay.
no, I was hoping that the other one was going to turn out.
The nape turned out okay, and
The genital piercing, we'll just say that I've had it. It was just like a frenum piercing,
Mhm.
and I've had it out for 20 some years, and the hole is still there.
yeah, okay.
So, I mean, I know that some piercings close and some
Yeah.
don't, but with how little of tissue they did this on,
hmm
it should have been closed.
It should have.
But now, like, so it's still there. They pierced it at a 16, and I could probably get like a 10 gauge
Mhm.
thing through
Really?
it.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not like through the meat or anything.
Through
but
through the meat.
that would suck. But yeah, just the skin, and it just never healed right. So then I was like, after that happened, I was like, well,
Just in some sort of anomaly.
I guess.
Yeah.
And so then a place was opening up. I lived in Shano, and I found out that a tattoo shop was opening up, and I was like, oh, I'll just go there and ask about being a piercer. And I bothered the guy day and night, pretty much.
Like going in there repeatedly.
Yeah, just went in there and yeah, it's like, hey man, I want to learn how to pierce. What do I got to do? I want to learn how to pierce. What do I got to do? You know, he asked me questions about myself and my life, and I was honest about everything, issues, problems, you know. And he went to a couple businesses around the area of the people who knew who I was, and, you know, they're like, oh, yeah, you know, blah, blah, blah. And so one day I walked in there, and he's like, oh, your apprenticeship starts today.
And you're like, all right.
You're like, sweet.
Ooh.
All right, let me begin. So, yeah.
How long?
That's
How
dope.
how did you actually complete it officially? Like, was it like a X amount of time until they told you, like, you're gonna do X, Y, and Z before you can do piercings here? Presumably at that whatever that shop was.
Yeah, like he, so he, I know it was, I don't know, X amount of time before I was like on my own. But yeah, there were certain things that I didn't do for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to say my apprenticeship was at least a year for certain things like your, you know, navel, eyebrow, that kind of stuff. It didn't take, wasn't that long.
Or like
Right.
earlobes and stuff.
But- You're right.
I mean, I would assume simpler stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
More common.
you know, just trying to find, because I think I was 20 when I first started piercing, and it was just kind of, I don't know, difficult to try to find people who were like over 18 to be able to, like, you know, yeah, I'll get a free piercing. You know, a lot of them.
Oh yeah, because
Like guinea pigs.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
right.
So I had, you know, a lot of the. So I graduated in 2000, so I was 18. So a lot of the people that I was friends with in high school were still like just now graduating, but they weren't quite 18 yet, so they still had to get their parents' permission. Or the other people, my friends or acquaintances that were old enough, are like, well, why do I want to get a piercing?
Yeah, what am I gonna? And you're like, you take it out later. I don't know.
Right.
Just let me learn. Yeah, right,
Like,
right,
just let me stab you quick.
Yeah.
right.
So,
In and out
yeah.
burger. Yeah. So
So yeah, I mean that was pretty much it. He asked me, the guy asked if I wanted to learn how to do genital piercings, and he's like, you can't just do female, you got to learn how to do male too. And I was like, oh, all right.
Yeah.
yeah,
So then when it came to that, he's like, well, you know enough on what you need to do. There's the needles. You know where the needles are in the jewelry. Have at her. So
Like no instruction, just like
Just-
no, like so basically, I learned how to do male genital piercings by myself being my own guinea pig.
oh, okay, sure.
Because trying to find I
A
don't
dude
know,
that's
a
just gonna,
dude
like,
that's
let
gonna be
you-
like, oh, hey man, I've known you for years. Yeah, here's my junk.
hey, like can
Yeah,
I stab
it's
your
a little-
nuts and dick a couple times?
A little
Like,
awkward. Yeah.
fuck. Like, oh, dude, you practice on yourself and everything?
I did.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's dedication.
Yeah.
I don't really know if there's a lot of people out there doing it now that probably have done that.
No,
Honestly.
I don't think so either.
Probably not.
I don't know,
There's
man.
not even a lot of. I mean, around here anymore. There's like nobody. Well, not nobody, but it's a small amount of people that do piercings here anymore.
It's like a very like elite few,
Mhm.
like honestly, that I would actually like. Well, like who had to do my bridge piercing and stuff like that. But yeah, other than that, I'm like I think you have to like go outside of Appleton just to get anything else done,
Yeah.
other than like the few here that I know of.
They had
But-
some weird rules too. I remember you telling me when it was flesh chamber and I was here that you couldn't do. What was it?
Couldn't do
So-
dermal anchors.
Yeah, dermal anchors because of the city of Appleton, but like a block away would have been okay.
Yep. Appleton considered it an implant. You couldn't do.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
I heard that. Yeah, I heard that back in the day that was considered like minor surgery.
Yep.
Yep.
Which doesn't make any sense to me, but I mean, that's how it is. It's the way it is.
Nah.
That's wild. Did that eventually change while you were doing it, or was that like that almost like the whole time?
No, it was like that. I mean, as far as what the health department kept telling us every time we asked was, nope, can't do it. Nope, can't do it.
Oh, so they never like
Like
backed off of that at all.
if they came in for inspections or whatever, and you were like, "So, can we start doing these?" Because people ask, and nope.
Always got turned down.
Appleton's been pretty strict on that type of stuff. Well, and just in general, like for a really long time too. Because I remember, I mean, before we did the accident knife throwing contest, one of the reasons why Appleton has never had a tattoo convention, even though we have multiple convention areas and rooms and stuff like that, is they didn't have any legislation at all
It just,
to do tattoos
paperwork
outside
didn't
of
exist.
shop.
No one ever
It
thought
didn't
about
exist. No one ever like brought it to like city council, like nothing. It was just never talked about. And so that's the reason why they never did it, even though I'm sure, probably for years, I'm sure somebody had probably been asking about, doing a tattoo convention in Appleton, and they just never did anything about it. So,
Yep.
yeah, it's really weird. It's weird how much, like, Appleton is kind of like that, but...
Yeah, and then, I mean, for me, I was the first person to ever be able to tattoo outside of a shop in Appleton.
Yeah, they literally wrote the legislation because you applied.
Right,
Yeah.
right, exactly. Yeah, so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Or factor win. Yeah, I don't know, it's cool. We should talk to our sponsor here real quick. Roll our commercial.
That's right. Roll that beautiful
Beautiful bean footage. Let's check it out.
Ray's Funko Pops. Fucking buy them.
And we're back. Thanks to our sponsor today. And
Appreciate you.
now we're going to tell you some wacky ass stories because
right.
everybody who does piercings and tattoos and
Even barbers.
cuts
We got wacky
the
stories,
follicles wants to know the stories.
too. Follicles?
During the commercial break, while we were in the back room heating up our coffee, Travis had reminded me of a tale he had experienced years ago. So you go right ahead.
Baking our crumpets.
That's right.
So, now I'm intrigued. I have to know this one.
All right. So, genital piercings. The guy who taught me how to pierce basically told me that, I had to do them on my own because there wasn't a lot of dudes coming in willing to get their shit pierced.
Yeah.
So anyway, this guy came in, definitely going through a midlife crisis.
He had all kinds of chains.
He had, the first time he came in, he had a safety pin through his arm. And,
Like just chilling.
Yeah, because he was in his, if I remember correctly, I want to say it was like 55, 56, somewhere in there, and his girlfriend was like 23, 24. And so they had been at the bar like a couple days before, and he got drunk and jammed the safety pin through there.
Shit.
And when he came in, it was pretty gnarly looking. And
Were you
Like already infected?
oh yeah, it was
You were like, yeah,
yeah.
looks great. That's a totally normal thing
Yeah.
to do.
So
Ship
the guy
shape.
that taught me how to pierce, like, basically re-pierced it to help get it clean. Put the proper jewelry and stuff in there. Anyway, a couple days later, the guy comes back and he's like, "Oh yeah, my girlfriend wants me to get a genital piercing." I'm like, all right. So we're talking about it, figuring out what he wants to do, and my
Sorry.
My boss was like, "You've had enough practice. Like, this one's all you.
You're
one's all
good.
you."
You're good.
Like,
yeah.
You
All
go
right, man.
have fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have to like show him? Did you have to like show him like your own work on yourself? Like, look at this.
No.
Or, okay.
No, thank God. No,
Okay.
didn't do
You have
that.
experience? Yeah, check it out.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
I kept coming in. Oh, my girlfriend insists, I need a genital piercing. So, all right. So we talked to him, figure out what he wants done. And I want to say it's called a Dido. So it kind of like goes in where your head mushrooms out and just basically goes straight through. Like,
Oh, at the top, like okay.
just like a little curved barbell.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's not like through the urethra or anything. Just
Oof.
yeah,
Through the outer meat.
yeah.
Yes.
So I did the piercing and ran the jewelry through and turned to get the ball to screw on to the top of the jewelry, and the guy says, "Oops, I made a mess."
No fucking
No way.
dude.
Yeah, so
Like as you were turning away, he said that out loud.
no, like I ran the jewelry through, turned around to get the ball, and when I came back, he
I assume you were like looking at him in like in the face, and when he said that, and then
he's like, "Oops, I made a mess." And I looked down, and sure enough, he had made a mess. So I
Oof.
grabbed a paper towel, and he goes, "I can clean it up."
I'm like,
and
yeah.
you're like,
Yeah,
you are.
Yeah,
Yeah, you are.
You're gonna buy me a new chair too.
I'm like, "Yep, you can."
So he popped his wad, essentially.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dang.
So, I mean, I got the ball and stuff back on, and let him clean his stuff.
That's a really
And
Damn.
yeah,
that's an interesting reaction. Like how would
So- I left the shop, and I went to basically appointment only. I would
Okay.
go and visit, and if he called me for somebody needed to get in for a piercing, I would go. Anyway, this gentleman, every single time I went and showed up, he would come in 5 to 10 minutes after I walked through the door and ask to see me. And it got to the point where the owner of the shop was even like, dude, he doesn't even really work here. And
Stop.
yeah,
Just stop.
yeah. Oh, well, I want him to change my jewelry. So I ended up changing his jewelry out for him. And it was a little
Jesus
awkward.
Christ.
Thankfully, it wasn't as messy as
I would.
the initial piercing.
You would think that if something happened, you'd be like, I'm never going to this. I'm leaving this state forever.
Right, like I'm not coming back here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I would have been that guy, I definitely would not.
Yeah,
have
Yeah.
gone
but
back
like
to
a
that
little
establishment.
embarrassing.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
kinda.
Nope. I don't know if he just wanted to have the same thing happen the second time around. I
Just
don't know.
tried to
but
see.
He just
but
he liked your delicate touch, I guess. I don't know.
apparently, well, when I first met my wife and she introduced me to
I like
her
this
friends,
segue.
her when I first met her friends and family, she would introduce me as, "This is Travis. He's a hooker. He'll touch your junk for $200."
Mm. And that's how I knew what was meant to be.
And now we're married.
Yeah.
When it's love, man. I don't know. I'm just thinking about like that guy like just waiting for you. It's like seeing your car pull up and like,
It's
yes.
like he was hiding in the alley.
Today's the
He
day.
had
Yeah.
to have. He had to have. That's how else.
Just ooh, Travis is here. He's gonna
That specific sound too.
Probably.
Was the
Probably
piercing
them- Oh man.
was the piercing like obviously you
you
did
can
the
always
first
count on
time.
me to make it weirder.
When he
so.
came back later, was it where you're like, oh, this healed well, looks great,
Yeah, I mean it looked
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
Please stop coming
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
Everything looks fine.
coming in. You said it, not me.
God damn it. Ugh.
So yeah.
Asshole.
So that's a story for the ages.
Yeah.
That is one to write home about.
Legend.
Yeah, I'll
Things
never
of
forget
legend.
it.
Never.
Yeah, because every time somebody would be like, "Oh, isn't it awkward piercing people's genitals?" I'm like, let me tell you about the first paying customer genital
very
I had.
first-
It all
the-
comes coming.
the-
like,
Yep. This
Aw,
is why it's
God.
not awkward.
fuck.
Yeah, this is.
It all comes rushing back.
Yeah. Okay. Enough with the jokes.
That's where I was going.
Yeah. Man, dude, I don't know. I think I would have been out the genital game if I were you. I just would have
Yeah.
done with it.
Next time somebody asks, just like give them like the 1,000-yard stare, like you're having like a flashback, and be like,
Yeah.
it'd just be
PTSD.
Travis's face, and then like the choppers in the background, just happening.
Drop into my knees, with
Just-
my hands in
Yeah,
the air.
like
You had a-
platoon.
Didn't you have one too where, or maybe, I don't know if this was you or my friend Zach, but there was one where there was like a tongue piercing and then there was like a pube wrapped around the barbell. Okay, that was probably Zach. I don't know.
nope, I
Okay,
don't
so
remember this.
never mind. Yes, exactly.
This
what
happens
it is.
at least every fucking podcast. I take a drink at the worst possible time.
Yeah, it was.
Holy
It was
shit.
something like that. Just
Oh, man.
here's what you do to take care of it. No smoking. No, I mean, run. What are the precautions for a tongue piercing that you shouldn't be doing after you get it pierced?
Well, yeah, smoking.
Of course,
obviously.
straws.
Straws, sucking on things.
Right, right.
That's
Of course. Of course.
So they did not listen, and there was a
Poob.
poop wrapped around the pole. Yeah, yes, I guess so. I thought that was you, but I guess not.
no, I don't. I think I
Oh.
would remember that one.
We might
No,
have to have
yeah, you
Zach
would.
in here now.
What's that?
We might
Yeah,
have to have Zach in here now.
Yikes.
Yeah, well, yikes indeed.
Jesus. Okay, so now fucking role reversal. What's the weirdest reaction you've ever had to? Well, I was here for one of them.
Probably that one.
Probably that one?
Probably
Okay.
that one. Because I've never had anybody like ejaculate, or I mean, to my knowledge, I mean, it could have. I don't know, but
Maybe.
yeah, or
I mean, Dan always said when he got his elbow tattooed, he had a fucking boner the whole time. Legit.
why?
Yeah, he just pain.
Just
It was
be-
just like, that's the
Just
way his
hurts.
body reacted.
I mean, sure, I guess.
Yeah, because he's got that piece on his elbow, and he's like,
Yeah.
I was like, hard the whole time. And I was like, Jesus, really? I'm like, I got my elbow done, and I was like wanting to fucking die. Like,
Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't want to do it anymore.
Like a normal person, wondering what they're doing. What am I doing with myself today?
Why did I choose this spot? Meanwhile, he's like, yes, awesome. I don't know. Everybody reacts differently, I guess, but some people fucking oops all berries all over the place. And
Oops, all berries. And no, I've never had anybody like piss or shit everywhere or anything like that. So I don't think so.
this is why
I mean, unless
I'm so fucking mature.
but I did have somebody say they had the shit really bad. So like, hold on, and they just like went really loud, and I was like, at least thanks for telling me, because I was like on their side, so I was kind of.
You were
that-
tattooing their side, and they were like,
kind-
I gotta.
Yeah, I was kind of
I
in
gotta
that
drop one.
area. You're right, in that area, and I was like, well, at least thanks for telling me.
Right.
Would have sucked a lot worse if I didn't know that was happening. So
It would be even better if they told you and then did it immediately. Like, be like,
Gotta
hey, I
move.
gotta.
you gotta move, foghorn. Yeah, dude.
Just drop ass while you're doing it.
It's an intimate business in this game. I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah.
In this world.
Yeah, you got to think about it. You're kind of like in someone's personal space for whether a short or a long period of time. But you're doing stuff that invokes like a bodily reaction regardless. So, I mean, it could go fucking either way. I'm sure that's probably one of the weirdest things that's happened to you. But I'm sure there's probably about a dozen more.
Probably.
Not to that
Yeah.
extreme. But
Yeah, I don't think so.
I mean, I feel like you probably had somebody like pass out a couple times.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did have a dude. It smelled like he shit. But I know he definitely pissed himself as well.
No shit.
Yeah. And,
Whoa.
Did he black out too?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like straight up, and it was
Everything just voided.
his girlfriend was here, his girlfriend's friend, and then him, and they all got something done. I think it was a tongue piercing, actually.
Was he the first person
And,
to go?
Yep, he was the
group?
first one to go.
Yeah.
and,
And they, I guess,
Oh,
were they
no.
like all hanging in the hallway?
No, like when we had the chair outside the room.
Yeah, the one in the corner.
The
Yeah.
friend was sitting out there. The girlfriend was in here, and then she was just like, "Oh my god, it's fine." And then
He'll be all right.
and then like his pants got wet, and we're like, "Oh, all right." And then he came to, and he's like, "I gotta go to the bathroom."
You're like, you already
So I was
did.
like, "Okay,
Mhm.
go clean yourself up."
Yeah.
Right.
And I think I did the friend's piercing because the girlfriend was making sure the boyfriend was okay.
Mhm.
And then, like, he came out and sat on his sweatshirt on the chair out there, and he just kind of sat there. And then she got a piercing done. And then they came back a couple weeks later, and she was getting something else done. And I was like, dude, why don't you just hang out in the hallway? Like, just sit on the chair, don't
Right.
even, like, come in the room. And he fucking passed out in the hallway just from her being in here getting a piercing.
Well, he just could not handle it.
No, he just,
Like-
I looked out the door, and all of a sudden I just see him sliding over, and head hits the wall, and he's out.
From him, like
Even
watching. Not even watching.
not
but
even
just,
watching,
like,
just
knowing.
knowing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. Oh man,
Damn.
that's that. Well, I mean, that happens with cases too. Because I had somebody, and I had somebody in here one time that kind of had like a. I don't know. I mean, I'm no doctor, but it definitely wasn't just passing out, because they were like shaking a lot, but it didn't really seem quite like a full blown seizure, but it was something to the effect of that, where they just went totally limp and whatever, eyes rolling,
Little shakes.
Yep, eyes rolling in the back of their head, all that stuff. And I have epileptic friends, so I've seen, I know what full blown seizures are.
Shout out, Bobbis.
Shout. So
He knows. We love him.
Bobbis. Yeah. So, but yeah, and then after that happened, I had told Ray this, because Ray wasn't here that day, and I was like, dude, yesterday, and I was telling him about it.
Oh yeah. As soon as I came in, he's like,
And it's not. I mean, it's not the person's fault at all. Like, it's nothing. They can't help it. It's not like embarrassing or whatever. I was just like, dude, like, you just kind of don't expect that, because there's nothing you can really do for them.
Right.
And then the very very next day, I'm telling Ray about that, and right when I tell him, a girl comes in, and she's like filling out a paper, and she's like, do tattoos bleed a lot? And I was like, well, I mean, like surface level, yes, but it's not like going to be like running, like you got to cut, And she's like, oh, because if I see blood, I pass out. And I go,
Here's the best
Great.
part.
And I just
I was literally cutting someone's hair, and as I'm cutting their hair, like, because we have the window in the shop. So I hear her come in, and she was like, "Oh, she's like, do tattoos bleed a lot?" And Luke's like, "Well, it's not, like he said, it's not like it's gonna be like a fucking open wound and like gushing everywhere." She's like, "Oh, because if I see a lot of blood, I'll pass out." And I turned and went,
I could just.
my eyes got big, and I looked right at Luke, and as she was like, "Oh," and Luke turned and looked at me, and I just went, "No," I'm like, "Not after yesterday." And he goes, and like she walked out, I was like, Jesus Christ, dude. I'm like, like literally right after he got done telling me what had happened the day before, and then that's the next person that comes in asking about tattoo. I was like, oh no.
Yeah. I mean, whatever.
Groundhog Day.
Whatever. I mean, I've read some crazy stories online that happened to other people allegedly.
I told the story before, but I'll tell the story again. Was when Taylor not passed out, but his leg was fully asleep, and then stood up and didn't realize that his leg was asleep. And just fell backwards. And then I remember, because Schlevy was tattooing him.
Yeah.
And Schlevy was like, and like he literally, as he puts his machine down, you hear Taylor just go, boom, and like hit the floor. And he goes, and he turns, he goes, "Are you okay?" And he goes, and all Taylor goes, he's just laying on his back in the hall and goes, "My leg's asleep." And that's all he said. And we're like, "Are you good though?" He goes, "Yeah." And then he had to wait for his leg to like pins and needles, and then he's like, "I just need to go pee, man. That's all I need to do." Fuck.
What a world.
What a world.
So what are you up to nowadays, man? Being a dad?
Yep.
Being a dad?
3 kids.
3 kids?
Dang.
Round the clock?
Yeah. 8, 6, and 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Fun, and more fun.
It is fun.
Mm-hmm.
It has its moments, but
Oh yeah, yeah.
I didn't have to put them to bed tonight, so that was good.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Hopefully they're asleep by the time I get home.
Shout out Abby.
Yeah. Thanks for
Real
putting
one.
them to bed. I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate you.
They
There
all
you
have
go.
different bedtimes, I'm assuming.
No, they're generally, we tried spacing it out, but then it just got too hectic. So they just pretty much they all just started going to bed at the same time anyway. So
There you
it's
go.
like, well, all right. If you
Make
guys
them
want
all
that.
hold each other accountable.
Yeah.
Be like, "You're not in bed.
Yeah.
I'm in bed. You got to be in bed."
Yeah, for
That's
the
how you
most
do it.
part.
Yeah. I'm in bed, so you gotta be.
Yeah. I'm asleep, so you're asleep.
Yeah.
You go to sleep, or I will put you to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it, man. Had an above ground pool, took that out, took the deck down, and then our back neighbors are assholes and called the city and said that we have a hole that needs to be filled. So that's what I've been doing the last couple days.
They couldn't.
Yeah, they literally blamed him. He told me the whole story.
They couldn't
before.
handle that you had a hole in your yard
Yeah, that's
that
not
had
even
nothing to
like-
do with them.
Not even like a big hole, no. So it's like
No, it was
part
just
of-
like where the pool was sitting.
yeah.
Right, I know, but what does it have to do with a neighbor?
I don't know. They just didn't like
Yeah,
it.
they didn't like it.
Yeah, they're just douchebags.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
If my neighbors are listening, hey.
Yeah.
Hey, we can't count anybody out from listening to our podcast after today.
Yeah. So what
That was
happened?
wacky.
What happened again today, Ray?
So yeah, we were just. I mean, you were tattooing. I was cutting hair. I had my next client like waiting, and the door opened. So I was like, okay, somebody coming in to, inquire about the shop. And so I looked over and I'm like, "Hi, how can I help you?" And just this woman hanging out by the door, and she goes, she basically said that she found it was like recommended on her Spotify.
Oh, like
Our
you might
our
also
podcast.
like or whatever.
Yeah, and our
Yep.
our podcast came up on her recommended, and she came in and just said that she really liked it and to keep doing it. And she's like, "I might not understand everything you guys are talking about, but I really enjoy it." So I was like,
Why not?
"Cool, thank
you."
you."
Don't understand anything either, so
But we don't understand a lot of things,
Right.
But, here we are,
here we are.
making the most of it or faking it.
Here we
So-
are.
Here-
Could be talking about AI, Steve Buscemi, dingleberries on that one,
Yep.
or fucking
Fucking
making messes in chairs.
Reggie Fils-Aimé.
Reggie Fils-Aimé. What's your
Oh
story?
yeah, we're gonna ADD this. Okay.
So Ray claims.
So
if you guys remember a couple episodes ago, I had talked
way
about
back.
the guy who worked for Nintendo,
My dad works for Nintendo.
the marketing president of Nintendo, Reggie Fils-Aimé, also was the man who invented the Bigfoot pizza.
Right. And you were
which
saying
is a wild
and
ass.
so
Do you
Luke
remember
was saying-
Bigfoot pizza way back at Pizza
do.
Hut?
And
Yeah,
I will
yeah.
never take this away from him because he was correct. But he said, "How do you beat that resume?"
Yeah, I was like, how are you gonna top that? And be like, this is just the things I've done.
Well, I finally might have found somebody that beats that resume,
All right,
and his name is Bruce Dickinson,
Bruce
the
Dickinson.
lead singer of Iron Maiden.
Okay, go on.
So this fucker's resume is bananas. It literally says Bruce Dickinson is the lead singer of Iron Maiden, but he is also, and there's like bullet points of the things that he's accomplished in his life. PhD in music. Literally,
Okay.
he has like the whole thing. He actually like, if you ever watched the old, fucking We Need More Cowbell.
Yeah.
The dude that Christopher Walken's playing, he's like, it's the Bruce Dickinson. That's Bruce Dickinson. He recorded Blue Oyster Cult. So he's like a director, producer, all that shit.
Yep.
Director of marketing, a DJ.
Yep.
I don't know why that's all right.
Okay.
A commercial pilot,
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the stretch.
a screenwriter,
Yeah.
an honorary captain of the Royal Air Force. So he was because Iron Maiden is from the UK.
Yeah.
So he was literally a captain in the Royal Air Force for the Great Britain's like, I don't know, Air Force essentially. He is a fencer.
That checks out.
Ding, ding, ding,
That
ding.
checks
Yeah.
out. Checks out.
A history professor and a cancer survivor. So
Yeah.
it's not Bigfoot pizza,
Yeah, it's not Bigfoot
but
pizza,
you
but
know it's pretty close.
I mean, he flies
Not
families.
to mention the vocals for fucking Iron Maiden.
Yeah, yeah.
That kind of like crushes a lot of shit.
Sorry, Reggie. You're
Sorry,
out.
Reg.
You're out.
You're out. Until we can find someone. So Reggie Fils-Aimé was there.
Top
And
level.
Bruce has kicked him off the top of the mountain. So until we can find somebody to take, damn, that's a good resume, away from Bruce Dickinson.
That's a new segment. Damn, that's a good resume.
Damn, that's a good resume.
All right.
So-
Cool.
So if you know anybody that's better than Bruce Dickinson, I dare you, come at me, bro.
Challenge accepted.
For some reason, I don't have any doubt in my mind that I'm going to get a message from Travis tomorrow.
Yeah. Probably.
So I thought about this the whole way home. But yeah,
Good
so I
thing the
had
kids are
to
asleep. I know what I'm doing. When I'm
look up people with better resumes.
Researching resumes.
Right? Oh, shit.
Commercial pilot.
That's fucking wild to me.
That is.
Well, not to mention, like, considering he has a background in the Air Force already, I'm sure that wasn't, like, a very, like, large leap, but to be a commercial pilot, that's kind of crazy. Considering I have a client who's a pilot, and he's like, I have to literally take piloting shit every 6 months or something like that. Like, he has to take, like, a pilot test, like, every 6 months.
Just to brush up on the skills.
Yep. It's like every 6 months, and you cannot miss it. Otherwise, you will get, like, it's completely, your license is void for the next 6 months, and you cannot pilot any planes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's kind of
I
important.
mean, yeah. Well,
So,
a little bit. Yeah.
You're responsible for a large amount of people.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, it does make sense, but I was just saying, I'm like, gotta maintain that.
Harrison Ford is also a pilot.
Is he? I didn't know that.
Really?
Yep, and he will fly to EAA every once in a while.
Mm.
So
Oh,
if
shit.
he is ever there, he flies. Yep.
I was gonna say the EAA is a lot bigger than what I thought it was. Like, especially when they do the whole air venture thing.
Yeah.
Like, I was unaware that apparently, like, years and years ago, like, Stan Lee was there.
Yeah.
Which is bananas.
George
Yeah,
Lucas
it's-
was there
yeah,
a
it's
couple
a-
years ago too.
it's a
Well,
huge-
more than a couple years.
It's
Who
a
was
huge.
but
It's a
George
huge
Lucas.
thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, like people from the entire everywhere come to that. For some reason, it's like massive.
That's crazy. Like, I never knew that. I just knew that it was, like, a big event. I never knew that it was, like, celebrities of all kinds coming to, like, Oshkosh and shit.
It's like the air event for whatever. I mean, I don't know anything. I'm not.
I just knew
like
the
pilot stuff.
the
but-
hotel I used to work at would always, like, be completely booked out, and it was a nightmare because I was working in the kitchen. So
Sweet.
yeah, great.
Maybe you're making George Lucas fries.
Yeah.
That'd be
I
amazing.
mean, it could have been.
Great. And I never even knew he was there.
You know, I never even knew he was there.
Probably why they never let me bring the food up.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it could be it.
I just had to make it. I didn't get to bring it up. But
Well, we got some good stories tonight.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
fucking A.
One's gonna ring some bells.
I got one more thing for
You go right ahead. Let's hear
Your
it.
latest episode, you were
This one?
talking about
Yeah, the one before. Yeah,
that's
yeah.
theirs.
Yeah.
Episode 5, I want to say.
Yes.
You were talking about tattooing at a wedding. And
I did.
cupcakes
Yes.
And the best bakery.
Yes.
Um,
I know what you're gonna say.
Oh.
I know, right? All these memories just rushed in my head.
Yep.
I know what you're gonna say. You're talking about your wedding cake, aren't you?
I am.
Okay. I will give you that specific cake. I will give you that.
Travis did say he was going to hold you accountable.
That I will give you that. But overall, I mean, okay. I guess I can't can't compare because I've never eaten anything from there except for your wedding cake.
Yeah.
But your wedding cake was the greatest thing in the world ever. No question.
So are we thinking
cake form?
Cake form. So are we thinking like Manderfields and then like close second,
Yes.
or are we like right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, just that one cake was very close. I would say that just that cake was on equal footing, but
Okay.
I'd never had anything else from them though. So I guess I don't know.
Might
Do
have
they
to-
still
we
exist?
might have to go on a field
I
trip.
Still
think so.
exists?
Manzu.
Yeah.
Manzu.
Bakery.
Is
It was,
that's in Green Bay, right?
Green Bay.
Okay.
He had a Star Wars themed wedding.
I'm shocked.
Believe it or not, the cake was there's a Death Star cake.
Really?
It was a Death Star cake.
There was a Death Star cake, and
Dope.
the
Did the cake boss make it?
cake boss,
The cake boss.
the Grand was it the Grand March? Is that what it's called?
The Grand March.
Yeah,
Yes.
when we all come in.
Yeah, it was the Imperial. We all had lightsabers and we held them
Nice.
crossed.
Yeah.
I still got mine.
Hell yeah. You still have them?
Oh yeah,
There you go.
Yeah. We walked into the.
I'm sure the batteries don't work anymore. That was about a while ago, but
The Imperial March.
Yeah.
Perfect.
one guy that Travis worked with, person B, from said shop was there, and I remember he had leather pants.
Yes.
Leather pants.
Leather
He's
pants.
wearing leather pants.
And he,
That he got the leather pants for his wedding, so he wore leather pants in his wedding.
Oh boy,
Yeah.
these are
oh yeah,
great fashion choices.
oh yeah,
Leather.
leather pants.
Leather pants.
Oh,
Worked out for
God.
him.
What month did you get married in?
October.
Okay. If it was summer, would have started to think weird things, but October makes a little more sense.
Mm.
Like if you're gonna wear leather pants in the summertime,
Yeah, no.
no. October makes a little bit more sense, but
You better show up on your chopper.
those
It's only
leather pants better be assless.
those chaps.
Holy shit, leather pants.
Leather pants.
Oh man.
And his stepson was, I don't even know, probably like maybe 14, 15, maybe 16, but he was stealing people's beer off at the tables.
Okay, I don't remember that, but I was probably not paying attention. But
Yes.
Yeah,
Man,
that's what
now
I was told.
I want to know if they're still around. I want to get a cake from them. Whatever.
Manzus.
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 It's Green Bay, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Manzus.
I know that they changed locations from when we got our cake until the last I heard of them.
Okay.
But pretty sure they're still around.
Well, shit.
It was. It's hard to explain.
Maybe we'll have to have like a live taste test.
Live cake off.
Like
Yeah. Oof.
do they do more than cakes? Then I'm assuming like do like donuts and shit like that.
I don't know. I would think so, but
Shit.
I only
I might have
went
to
there for
get on the old Google machine right now.
for cakes.
Yeah. The Google machine.
The old Google machine. Oh, in case you need to know what the picture was that I looked up for Bruce Dickinson. That.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
And we'll put it up.
Yeah. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Oh no, Brewers are losing. Shout out to our boy Trent, who's at the Brewers game right now. He's
Right
not gonna
now,
see this for like
this-
another 2 weeks.
Right, but he's there.
right
He'll
now,
remember
right
it. Yeah, I
now,
was
right
there.
now. Yeah, I was there.
I was there.
Manzu Bakery,
Yep. That's it.
bakery and custom cakes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It is located in Gray Street and still there.
Oh, hey.
Well, there we go. Cake off challenge.
Cake off.
Cake boss. Cake off with the cake boss.
Cake off with the cake boss. Yeah, fucking. I don't know, man. They do donuts. Maybe we need to do a.
It's gonna have to be. We're gonna have to have somebody. It's gonna have to be like a double blind test though. So, because if I just like see the shape of like I'm gonna know instantly like who made it. So it's gonna have to be like.
Because you're fat.
You're right. So right, but it's gonna have to be like cut in like
Bite-sized morsels.
bite size. Right.
Yeah,
right.
like boop boop. Yeah,
Boop boop.
boop boop.
Indeed.
Indeed. Don't worry, I'll do it too.
Okay.
Yeah, like we'll I'll blindfold you. You blindfold me. And we'll have a great time.
We'll have a great time.
And you can take that however you want.
Sounds fun, huh?
Right?
Travis can be here to administrate them.
There you go.
Which one is it? Coconut shell. The coconut shell game. Dude. In.
Without looking.
Knocked off the Lysol.
Yeah. Fuck that Lysol.
Episode 6.
Episode 6.
In the books. Travis.
Appreciate you.
Thanks
for coming in, man.
Thanks for being
Thank
here.
you guys.
Thank you.
I'm glad I could come for this.
Yeah. As if, again, like, you know, to close it out, does it feel weird to be in this room
the
again?
same room, man.
Doesn't seem like the same room. It is a little fucking weird still, but I mean, hey.
You know what's funny too is he the password for the door, the back door, security door.
Mm-hmm.
He said he's pretty sure it's the same thing that it was when he
No
was here.
way.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
wondering if that ever got changed.
Yeah,
They're just like,
I don't
well,
think
there's your
'cause
code.
I said it and he was like, "Yeah, yep, that sounds right."
That's it.
So whatever.
Don't worry, the furnace filter was also still the same.
Oh, I don't doubt that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the guy
Yeah, that was great.
The guy that changed it, fixed it one time was like, "This should have been fixed in like '87."
Yeah,
And it's
when it got
still-
installed. Yeah,
still the
it's
same.
still the same one. So, yeah, and he's like, oh, and the furnace filter hasn't been changed in like 6 years. I'm like, oh, it's when they closed. Great. So it's never been changed.
I don't think they ever changed it even while I worked here.
Yeah, you're right.
They're probably like, oh, you got to change
So
that shit?
Yeah, you're like, eventually the filter.
Yeah,
gets
that
dirty?
tracks. Yeah.
Yeah,
Fuck.
osmosis cleaner. What did you say that thing in the back is? Some.
A reverse osmosis?
Yeah, yeah.
It was for when person A
Yes.
had a saltwater aquarium in
Oh yeah,
the room.
Oh.
that's right. I forgot
boy.
that. I forgot he had that.
Wait,
Forgot
in
that.
his room or in there?
In his room.
in his room back in the corner.
Oh,
there.
okay. Christ.
Yeah. Reverse osmosis Jones.
Well, and then it was, I think he used it for that. And then, I think so. I'm pretty sure that was it. Spray down water. You got it.
Yeah.
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 Spraying down. I just remember there being a bucket in the room right behind us that said "Pimpin' ain't easy," and it was full of sea salt.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're the little baggies of sea salt.
Yeah.
Christ. Oh, man.
The good old days.
The good old,
That's right.
the glory days.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's going to wrap up episode 6 for now. And
For real this time.
For real this time.
real this time.
We're not going to Midwest goodbye it and
Nope.
like talk for another 10 minutes. Well, I mean, we could. But so anyway,
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, that's it. Appreciate you guys for listening. Thanks for tuning in for episode 6.
Keep watching, keep listening, keep your stick on the ice.
See y'all next week.
See y'all next week. All right.
Great to be back, America.